Basic uses and properties of Slider widget. Slider is a widget provided by Flutter that lets us set a certain value at a certain point by sliding. Take a smartphone brightness slider as an example. Now, let's start by removing unnecessary codes from the Flutter app we created and focus only on Slider widget. For the body, we will be needing more than one widget, so we are gonna use column, and as a children, text will be our first widget that will display the value for the slider.
Let's take some time to provide some data to the text widget properties. Once we are done with the text widget, we will add the slider widget as the next child, and take a look at its basic properties and how we can implement it. Slider has two required properties, that is value property and unchanged property. The value property accepts a double, and it is the value we will be assigning as we slide onto the slider. Whereas unchanged property is a function that provides us with a double value, as it detects the user gesture on the slider, but we can assign that value we are receiving to the double that we created and add it to the value property of slider. As we saw it now, we don't see any changes on trying to slide, but we are receiving value as we print the value into the console. That is because we need to set the state of the new changes we are receiving. Once done adding set state to our value in the unchanged property, we will see changes in our UI as well. Now the label property of slider widget lets us show active value just above the thumb pointer. It accepts a string, so we parse the double value to int, and then to string. However, we don't see any label yet. For that to work, we will have to wrap the slider widget with a slider theme. Then in the data property of slider theme, which accepts slider theme data object, with it we can use the show value indicator property and set it to always. Now we can see a label with active value as we slide. Min property of slider widget accepts a double. As the name suggests, it lets us set the minimum value in our slider. And max lets us set the maximum value. Active color of slider property accepts a color object. It is used to change color of the active part of the slider, that is to the point the user slid it to. And inactive color property is to color the inactive part of the slider widget, that is the remaining part. We can also change the thumb point color, with the thumb color property of slider widget. Now on adding the active value to the text widget that we created earlier, we see a beautiful text with the slider value just above the slider. This way, you could use this value anywhere you need, or anywhere you would like it to show, as per your requirements. The divisions property of slider can be used to divide the slider values to several equal parts. Have a look at the simulator, it also accepts a double. And for the last, we can also use slider.adaptive, instead of just slider, its UI adapt according the operating system the device has. That's all for basic properties of a slider widget. Thank you for watching, and I hope it helped you to practically use the slider widget. And please do not forget to like and subscribe, it will help me a lot in growing the channel. Have a good day.